So this is the second installment of Harry Potter, the second series after Harry Potter, which was the Fantastic Beasts series, written by JK Rowling, produced by JK Rowling actually, this film. And it's effectively also David Yates, obviously the guy who did produce all the main Harry Potter films too. And it's the second installment of the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, based on the books that she wrote alongside the Harry Potter books. And we see the sort of furthering of the first story, where at the end of the first story, you know what happened to Grindewald, who's the Dark Wizard, and effectively here he is at large, and they have to kind of track him down. And you have a lot of secondary characters being introduced. You've got Zoe Kravitz, who plays one of the side characters, who is in love with Newt Salamander's, or Newt Scamander even, his brother, who's an aura, and he's like the lead aura of the Ministry of Magic, and they're on the chase for the Dark Wizard. And also kind of some surprise kind of changes from the first film. It's almost like the first film ended on a kind of oh my god sort of moments, and then they kind of reversed a few of those, which I was slightly disappointed with, because it was like, you know, a bit like if you ever watched Alien, you know, Aliens, which Jim Cameron did. And in the third installment, that David Fincher, as a very young director doing his first feature, he basically just changed the whole timeline in an instant. And it's a bit like this in this one, where you've kind of got the sort of big climax of the first film, and then they kind of just change things and make it, oh, and by the way, kind of thing. And which is a bit of a weird thing, but you know, the film runs well. Then they're now in Paris, and Grindewald's kind of gathering support for his followers and tracking down the asset that he needs to track down without spoiling the film. And if you've seen the first one, I don't want to spoil it, but ultimately it ends with some interesting developments at the end, like a bit, you know, almost like tragic elements at times, and then you sort of look forward. Very good at bridging the first film to the third film. So we now look forward to the third film, which is called The Secrets of Dumbledore. This one's called The Crimes of Grindelwald. So it's a bit like, almost like Star Wars, you know, talking about the second film was, you know, Empire Strikes Back, and the third one is Return of the Jedi. It's a bit like that. So in a way, I mean, it's interesting. Johnny Depp plays a really good sort of bad guy as Grindelwald, and then you've got Eddie Redmayne playing obviously the lead character, the Newt character, and you've also got Zoe Kravitz, who comes in as a side character, and then you've got the introduction of Dumbledore, who's obviously a very important character in the Harry Potter series, and here he is as a young man, played very well by Jude Law, I found. And it's really interesting delving more into the lore of the history behind some of the characters, and it's almost like a mystery in a way, where they've got to find out, you know, the secrets of everything that's happened and before them. And it's quite interesting. The story runs well. So to any Harry Potter fan, I find this is decent. Sequels are very hard, especially in a trilogy. The second film is always very difficult. In a lot of trilogies, people love the first and third, but they don't really like the second. The only exception I found, you know, series is which I like Star Wars, where the second film was actually, I think, the best of all the Star Wars films, Empire Strikes Back. And then also you've got films like Aliens, which is also epic, but it, you know, I wouldn't see Aliens as a trilogy. If not, it's like a quadrilogy even. And so I think the fate that befall Alien 3 is probably what happens to most sort of second films. But anyway, this is The Crimes of Grindelwald. It's only on Netflix for a short time. They're going to remove it from the platform at New Year's Eve, I think. So go and watch it if you can. All 3 films are on there. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.